Hi, my name is Mikela, also known as Kel. I live in Sacramento, California, and I work as a social worker. I previously had intense stomach pains to the point I couldn't move. I have a previous history of ovarian cyst, and so I went to the emergency room to get my ovarian cyst treated. Like all hospitals do, they made me go under multiple ultrasounds. I went under an MRI. They injected me with a bunch of stuff just to prove I did, in fact, have a ovarian cyst rupture. I was already super nervous because most of the time, people my age, I'm 29, don't even go to the hospital because of how much the emergency room is. And I was like, well, I'm a social worker. It's probably not going to be a terrible decision to go to the ER. Until I found out that my bill was $2,600. And like most and many Americans, I live paycheck to paycheck. So I actually went into a tremendous amount of mental stress after receiving that bill. There is no way I can afford this, no possible way. How am I even going to afford rent? How am I going to afford my groceries? How am I going to afford to live? I actually knew nothing about hospital assistance or even bill assistance in general. It wasn't until I went online when I was severely stressed out after I got this bill where I was like, there has to be some some sort of way I can afford this, some help I can actually find. And I was just on the internet Googling ways to support me and I found $4. So I was checking my bill every day. And it was literally about like a week after I applied to $4, my total just went to zero. And I cried. I called my parents. I was like, my medical debt is cleared. I can finally like relax, not have to worry, not have to feel like I couldn't even afford to go to the doctor anymore just for basic treatments. I actually had another ovarian cyst a couple years back and I left that hospital because I was too scared of having medical debt. I work in a field where most of my clients personally have medical debt. They have medical issues that aren't getting properly addressed, and they don't see the doctor out of the same fears I had. I would want hospitals to know that people need to be able to afford their services. Our medical system is not sustainable. I think it's important for people to share their stories because you might benefit from the same things one day.